So you understand women?
Yeah.
How do you understand women so well?
W. Dr.
Bro, I just
Phil.
closed my eyes, man, when he said that. I was like, wow.
W. Dr. Phil.
Understand women?
Yeah.
How do you understand women so well?
Oh, just life experience. I've put myself out there a lot and had my fair share of learning. I've read a lot and experienced a lot of different perspectives and did my best to put them all together.
You're a sexual energy coach.
Yes.
Bro, the women in our bro, they're like, come on, bro.
Man.
That
Different
is not cool. And the
perspectives,
dorky
and
chicks
did
are
my best
also
to put them all
laughing.
together.
You're a sexual.
Bro,
The look on her face is exactly the look I have on my face. When I'm looking at this dude, I'm just like, oh man. Yeah, it's painful.
Sexual energy coach.
Yes.
Help me with that. What is a sexual energy coach?
So I help men with their mindsets, getting in touch with their masculinity, figuring out their goals and what sorts of action steps they can take to make those goals real when it comes to dating and relationships.
But
she rolled
you don't have a girlfriend.
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
What was the question? You what?
You don't have a girlfriend.
I don't have a girlfriend. No, I do not.
Dr. Phil with all the
What he should have said, no, but I'm spinning a bunch of plates right now. And then that would have led into
Right.
But he isn't. That's
Like
why he didn't
spinning
say it.
plates.
Yeah, I'm spinning plates right now. I have a bunch. I have a
Oh,
bunch of
jeez.
girls I'm seeing right now, but I'm non-exclusive right now. That's what he should
They
have.
should have brought Miguel on.
Oh, God.
So you're telling other people how to get girlfriends and you don't have one.
Well, I teach them how to get in touch with their masculinity.
Okay.
And so my clients have found girlfriends because of me.
Okay. And how do you define masculinity?
Integrity under pressure.
That was the
And
only answer that he gave
you-
that I
You
liked.
were saying that women want a man that what?
They want a man who knows what he values, a man who's good at building something, a man who's multidimensional and integrated, who can be masculine, but is also emotionally aware, intelligent, and fearless when it comes to achieving his goals.
Are you an Andrew Tate adherent?
I'm not a dogmatist by any means, but I do think that he's serving a valuable role. I think that he's making a positive difference, and he does say a lot of controversial things because he's an extreme person. Like, he is not your normal average guy.
I wrote down some of the things that he said. Some of them I absolutely cannot repeat. But he says, I think my sister is her husband's property. Would you agree with that line of thinking?
Not in the literal sense, no.
Good answer.
Well, I understand. He doesn't have.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It doesn't.
Well, if you understand, why'd you ask the question?
Yeah, and then on top of that, too, this is around the time where Andrew was converting to Islam a
Mhm.
little bit. So he did. Now this is kind of like where Andrew's kind of like I don't know if he's kowtowing or he's kind of like leaning more towards that stuff because but he's been trying for a while to get like a visa or just get himself all into Saudi Arabia and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And you've seen what happened. He didn't get that in time, so he was in Romania when he got pinched. Yeah, yikes. That's crazy too. How much he's put Romania on the map, man. Like, who the fuck was thinking about going to? I've never once in my life thought, oh, I might go to Romania. The farthest, like, close to Russia I've ever thought of going is like I might go to Poland one time.
Yeah.
Go to Warsaw or something. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Dude, it's beautiful too. And I would have never known about it without Tate.
I think Dracula's castle is there. It's supposed to be
Is it really?
Transylvania, but it is, yeah.
Romania.
It's
Yeah, you're
Romania.
right.
From the like from,
We were doing a street interview and we ran into a girl in Romania. We were talking to her about Tate. And yeah, it was just crazy that like to be introduced to that world and like hearing what she was saying, it's crazy.
yeah. I'll just say real quick also. But I'm sitting here thinking that it probably doesn't resonate with you guys the same.
Right.
It might with you because we've spent a fair amount of time cutting, but I've cut feature movies before. I edit for a living. But specifically when you're cutting scenes or cutting a show, when you do it 80 hours a week, I hear all the cuts when I watch daytime television.
Yeah.
It's something, and I actually worked for a sub company at Comcast before, so like I've cut based on instruction by television execs. So like I hear it when a sentence is supposed to drag on longer, with the person had more to say, even Phil at times, and I hear even Dr. Phil at times, and I hear where the cut came in. Like I can hear it.
The point through the breath, as in you're going to continue.
Yeah, it's generally probably the Dr. Phil show's probably what, like it's probably like maybe an hour and 45 minutes taping, and then what does it get cut down to? It's like 40 minutes.
Time management and dialogue control.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah,
cut
because
it
they
like
have
that.
they have that time
of
slot,
course.
and that's supposed to be with commercials mixed in. This is without commercials, of course, but I hear the cuts. I mean, who knows what was said in full? That's something we could ask Rolo personally. Like, and I would ask Rolo. I said, Rolo, if I was with him right now, I'd say, how much further did you go on? And he's somebody they would definitely cut short because he's long-winded. So if he had a long-winded answer and they're like, we got to keep this down to 40 minutes, it's not a podcast, this is television. They'll snip it.
Yeah.
And you'll hear the cuts when Rolo comes in.
I think the show did so. I think I've heard nothing but good reviews for the show anyway. So it's like they might actually. I know from what they filmed enough where they probably can come out with another episode.
Yeah, and I don't in respect to when Rolo comes on, I think they cut him fairly, being that there's stuff they could have taken out. My first thought was that they could have taken out him saying that he's not going to be an Andrew Tate apologist on the show, but that actually ended up being the hook. It ended up being the highlight. Yeah. So I think it was treated fairly. I'm just saying, I'm not saying they cut everything to paint a negative picture. This was more fair than I thought it would be, but it's still cut for daytime television in a way where like you don't get the full extent of the conversation, which is what we are so commonly used to because we're in podcasting.
So then why would they not post the full on like YouTube like how we're watching it?
Not what it's for.
Okay, I get it.
But they never do anyway.
Well,
Yeah,
think about the whole reason for television is just to get to the next ad.
Mhm.
So
No, you're
right. Yeah.
I mean, the internet is to get to the next click, or media.
No, it's true.
But like, it's one of these things where you're just like, well, they're not here for the conversation. They just know this conversation is interesting enough, right? So that people will tune in and then they can sell them fucking
interesting enough to wait through the ads.
Charlie,
and consume.
Charlie, we are this network is here to sell women prescription drugs and fentanyl. Okay. And
hey, Pfizer is having a lot more commercials since I've been back in America than I ever remembered.
Oh yeah.
Like every time when I'm watching TV, like watching the NFL or something, I'm just like looking at all these Pfizer commercials, like who in the hell needs all these fucking drugs? Yeah. But like it's crazy, man.
I mean, I remember like the commercials are pretty insane, dude. Like it's either antidepressants or some sort of like this springy little plastic girls put in their arms so they don't get pregnant.
Oh, fuck.
IUD.
IUDs, yeah.
I know because all my girls have them. It's gross. It's gross. No, but sometimes it goes inside them and sometimes it's in the arm. I don't know what
I think the IUD one is that one that goes inside you. There's something else.
I think they're both.
Maybe I was just hanging with ghetto girls. We had the pill back in the day.
It's becoming more popular. I don't know what the benefits are, the arm versus inside the vagina, but I think
there's different ones that affect different hormones differently.
It reminds me sort of those pills they put in cattle for like testosterone.
Yeah.
And stuff. They have a pill and it just dissolves over time into the bloodstream.
My girls don't got IUDs. They only got DUIs.
Yeah.
Ding.
Sheesh. All right, let's get back to it.
The literal sense now.
Well, I understand. He doesn't have.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
He doesn't own her.
women are obviously people, not objects, but it's one way of looking at things, misogynistic as that might be.
He describes it as a sexual encounter and says that's how it goes. Slap, slap.
Now he wasn't wrong there and stuff like that. Like what a third of the world does think like that because of Islam.
True.
It is this whole
that's correct. Yeah.
And there's this whole thing in the past in the Middle Ages and shit like where it was like you had to pay a dowry because like a woman was such a burden on the family. You had to literally give money to the
money
husband's
cattle.
family.
Yeah.
Like here, take my daughter, take her weight in silver. Like I have 3 daughters. Take the fat one.
Take the throat out.
Yeah, but in respect to in the States, growing up, I remember like my parents bringing us around like other families and other parents, and I'd noticed even as a kid the dynamic between the man and the woman, and I'd noticed when it was like in spoken of amongst other parents and shit, like the man really leads in that household, and I'd heard the opposite, like he has no balls, the woman really leads, and I always remember just thinking like, people do things different ways. I didn't think we needed to like fucking have a campaign against it.